So, in my continuing effort to keep my momentum as far as joyous effort goes, I've been wanting to and have been trying to focus on the joy aspect. And so, and I've been doing a little bit of a self-assessment that the level of joy I have kind of falls into different categories in community here for all the responsibilities, the tasks, the roles, the offering service, the endeavors that I do here. The joyous effort seems to come in different levels, and at each one of those levels, the self-centered thought tries to set up a trap for me to prevent me from cultivating that joy. And this self-assessment, the first way in which I find joy, it came up a number of years ago, and I've been thinking about it as well, is that there is a misconception. And this misconception I have had in my own mind, and that I've also heard from a number of folks. It comes around when speaking with somebody who is aspiring for ordination, that when one ordains, you have to give up all of your joys, all of your activities, all of your interests, all of your passions that you had in lay life, or the skills and talents that you have honed. That if you are going to ordain, everything that you ever enjoyed goes out the window. And then there's all this fretting going on, that's, well, and I say, well, why is that? And they say, well, I'm going to be a renunciate. That means that I have to give everything away that I've ever loved and enjoyed and were passionate about. And so I have figured out, and slowly even figure out more, that that doesn't have to happen. You don't have to stop contributing to the benefit of others, of the world in general, in the ways that you love and enjoy. That doesn't have to happen. Now, saying that, we do have to give up our snowboarding and playing pool and playing the stock market and wearing rings and going to symphonies and owning our own cars. But the parts that but the natural affinities, the things that we're drawn to, the interests, the expertises that we have cultivated over time, we don't have to give those up. What we have to give up is our attachment to how much meaning they have, our attachment to the praise and the reputation that we have been trying to solicit because of these wonderful talents that we have cultivated and the worldly concerns around them. The I, me, my, and mine. So these fretting folks, and I was one of them for a while, and it comes up occasionally, is that they will not be fully alive and engaged because part of their joy and who they are will be sacrificed when they ordain. All that passion, all that love, all that enthusiasm. Well, guess what? It's the identity that's going to have to be given up. The 8 worldly concerns that get wrapped around these beautiful gifts and qualities that we bring to the world. That's the problem. So I have to confess that I have had this erroneous thinking myself, and I'm going to share this with you. And I've been laughing about it, but here's one of them, is that I would have to give up my art, my artistic endeavors, my love of color and beauty and aesthetics, and live in this drab, austere world of renunciation. I mean, I had some real angst about this in the beginning. Art was my life, my expression of my deeper self, and color is one of the languages that I use. Now, how can I live without them? I had these thoughts in the beginning. There was a sense of resignation that they would have to be put on the shelf because they were way too much fun, way too much joy. I got way too much fulfillment out of them. They had to go. Well, guess what? I haven't had to give them up. I haven't had to give up my love of art, my love of color and beauty. Just get the big, inherently self out of the way. That was the part that I had to surrender. That had to go. But the joy of creating and being artistic and contributing to the beauty of the Abbey, I never had to give that up. I don't have to give that up. Now, it has taken some time to let go of this self that has been fabricated around these things that I really enjoy, because it really kind of instills this part that they are part of who I am, this permanent attribute, this permanent self that's solid from its own side. And so in the beginning years, as I tried to navigate how to be able to contribute in this way, I got a lot of teasing from a particular member of this community and still do sometimes for some of the color choices that I have made around here. I'll never hear of the end of it, I am sure. But in the beginning, it was very interesting because I really defended my choices and I got pissed off at anybody who would challenge them. Whether it was the stately green of the altar, the blushing veil of the walls, or the copper penny of the Prajna cottage. I got teased about this. I'd be like, my steam would be coming out of my ears. But, after a while, it does take time to laugh because the identity around so much of this, so much of our talents, our skills, we know things, we're good at things, I am so important, forget it. And your teacher will teach you how to forget it. It's all about the love and delight generated by creating beauty for the Buddha Dharma Sangha. I've been able to finally move this over, get out of myself, get out of the big self, the defending the positions for the most part, and just loving to create these beautiful things, to serve the three jewels and the sentient beings rather than saying, looking at me, aren't I talented? Aren't I wonderful? This is what I went to school for, I got a degree for, how about a little bit of praise? So the self-centered thought did a lot of hijacking in the beginning where I had all these wonderful things to offer to the Abbey, to the three jewels, to the community, but I was so defended around the identity that I built around them. So as I slowly let go of that and just enjoy being able to give this, whatever this is that I have, that I just have a lot more fun and the self-centered thought doesn't get too involved as much as it used to be. And part of that is that serving sentient beings and the three jewels, using our gifts, it really, no matter how we're asked to do that or how we can do that, it's all around benefiting. And it brings joy because when you do something that you love, that you have an affinity for, you're kind of in a groove. You're kind of in a comfort zone. It comes up effortlessly. But the thing is, you don't get attached to being special while you're in that groove. That's the part. To hold on to the joy, but to get the big I out of the way. So this is the joy that I find most connected to here at the Abbey, whether it's doing the tankas or the paint or the forest or the flowers or the wildlife. These are the things that are so in my heart. And as soon as you ask me to do it, I'm just all over it. But I've got to get the important, talented, special person out of the way. The second way in which joy plays itself out that I can see is that when we are asked to do things that we have never done before. This is the second category. We are totally out of our comfort zone on more than one occasion. And it's called growing our capacity. And if we want to strengthen our bodhicitta and skillful means, this is one of the ways that it happens to expand our repertoire of being able to benefit. Now, for a person like me who really likes large comfort zones and really needs a lot of predictability, it can be really unnerving in the beginning when you're asked to do something that you don't feel you're capable of doing. It's too hard. I haven't done it before. People are going to laugh at me. You feel like you're getting thrown into the deep end of a pool. That's what the self-centered thought is saying. It's too hard. It's too difficult. People are going to laugh. I'm incompetent. I'm incapable. But what happens here at the Abbey is that while you're taking on that role, there is a much wiser one who has been doing it for a while that is going to be available to support and guide you as you fill into that role. And in this assessment that I made of this kind of joy that I've tried to cultivate when I'm asked to do things that I'm totally out of my comfort zone is, first of all, it counters any type of arrogance I have about anything about myself. It cultivates a humility, this fish out of water experiences when you're learning and you can honestly say, I know nothing. I know very little of this role. It is a great training. So that's the second way that I find cultivating joy. If I can just get the self-centered thought that says, it's too hard, people are going to laugh at me, I'm incapable, all the lack of self-confidence. So that self-centered thought needs to be worked on for me much more directly than the first one, where the arrogance of being so in my groove. And sooner or later, we will get good at what we're being asked to do. If anything, it's guaranteed that we will grow. And that this will, if we can bring some joy and curiosity to these roles that are new for us and we're out of our comfort zone, we actually grow and we can actually bring joy to it. And the third category that I see Yeah, this is probably the one that takes a little bit more effort with the joy, is the one that we are given tasks and roles that our self-centered thought will label stupid, drudgery, unreasonable, inefficient, unnecessary, not my department, not my job. And we get these on more than one occasion. This is a major part of the training and a major focus of our practice. And from my side personally, I think this serves better in our Dharma growing more than the first two opportunities, because this is the one that we run up against all of our life. The things we don't want to do, the things that we need to do to grow, to learn, things that we consider inefficient, unnecessary, stupid, whatever, not my job. So the self-centered thought is the obstacle on cultivating joy in these kind of tasks and projects, is that it thinks that we are way too important to be doing this lowly job. Let the junior do it. So as soon as a new person comes to the Abbey, they become the junior and you give it to them. Or you're a senior who has been here so long, so for sure give it to a junior. So because we get these a lot, better to change the mind to joy rather than wishing for something else better to show up, because these keep showing up. And so when I put all of these three kind of ways in which my joy gets, how I cultivate my joy and the different forms of resistance that come with my self-centered thought, I kind of look at this in a bigger picture that Venerable has said over the years, and I really am beginning to see this and trust this, is that it is the possibility of us being able to grow ourselves as full human beings. And that I believe that to become a fully holistic human being, we have to be able to generate all of our good qualities and to nourish them. And I don't think generally that there are any other life situations that we have had in our lives that give us the opportunity to round out the human being more than living in a monastic community. We have had so many experiences and opportunities in our life that present themselves that really ask, like hone in on maybe 2 or 3 kind of expertise sets or things. When we build our resumes, get our jobs and things like that, they're only interested in a certain aspect of ourselves, to get the job done, to make them look good, to sell their product, to serve in whatever capacity that opportunity presents itself, sometimes discounting a lot of other aspects of ourselves on like developing our full human potential. That's not generally too much of an interest in a lot of things that we've been asked to do in life. Little parts of us are being asked to step forward, but the whole human being, every aspect, every good quality, eliminating the qualities that don't serve. A lot of companies, relationships kind of go along with, well, just give me what I want, and forget about the other things you got going on, the other problems you have. I'm not interested. Where monastic life and the way that we get to offer service here in practice, there's this whole holistic endeavor to be able to grow all aspects of our qualities and to eliminate the ones that don't serve. And this is in order to actualize this beautiful, precious human life that we have. And my final thought is that bodhicitta needs a strong and happy mind to dwell in. And I think a major way to bring out the welcome mat for it is to really be able to cultivate joy in whatever we're asked to do, starting with the things that were in our groove, the things bringing curiosity and willingness to, and the very simple daily tasks that we usually do on automatic, to turn them into, treasures of joy. And this will take a lot of time, courage, fortitude, and certainly a lot of humor to be able to accomplish that task.